Welcome everyone to today's very first class in Hilchot Deot, the laws of character development or personality development from the Rambam, from Maimonides. I'd like to begin with the Hakdama, with the introduction to chapter 1, in which the Rambam writes as follows: Hilchot Deot yesh bichlalan achat esrei mitzvot. There are 11 different commandments which are included in Hilchot Deot. Chamesh mitzvot aseh. There are 5 positive commandments, actions which we are required to do. V'sheish mitzvot lo ta'aseh, and there are 6 prohibitions. These various commandments are as follows. Number 1, lihidamot bidrachav, to follow in God's ways. Number 2, lihidabek biyoda'av, to have an association or a relationship with those individuals who know God, or perhaps we will say with those who are quote-unquote close to God. Number 3, le'ehov et re'im, to love our fellow Jews. Number 4, le'ehov et hagerim, to love converts who are genuine. Number 5, shelo lisno achim, not to hate one's brethren. Number 6, lehochiach, to give proper rebuke to those who are acting inappropriately. Number 7, shelo lahalbin panim, not to embarrass people. Number 8, shelo la'anot amlalim, not to oppress those who are vulnerable. Number 9, shelo lahaloch rachil, not to bear gossip or not to spread gossip or improper language. Number 10, shelo linakom, not to bear a grudge. And finally, number 11, shelo lintor, which is, number 10, shelo linkom, is not to bear vengeance, not to take vengeance or revenge. And number 11, shelo lintor, is not to bear a grudge. And now in the following prakim, in the following chapters, the Rambam is going to explain all of these 11 mitzvot. In the process of doing so, he's going to share a great deal of human psychology and advice on how to improve our character and to develop our character and personality. So the Rambam begins as follows: Deot harbe yesh lechol echad ve'echad mibnei adam. Every single person, this is a loose translation, has a variety of personality types or character traits. V'zo mishuna mizo urechoka mimena biyoter. Every different character trait is different from each other, and as we're going to see, there is a very wide spectrum of character traits. Yesh adam shehu bal chema. You have a person who is inherently angry. He's prone to become very angry. Koes tamid, he constantly expresses his frustration and anger. V'yesh adam sheda'ato miyushevet alav, and then there are those people that are naturally very calm and tranquil. Ve'eno koes klal, and they rarely, if ever, get angry. V'im yichas, and if such a tranquil individual will get angry, yichas ka'as me'at, he'll only get a little bit frustrated, bekama shanim. He'll only express his anger a few times over the course of many years. V'yesh adam shehu gevalev bioter. You have people that are exceedingly haughty and arrogant. V'yesh shehu shefal ruach bioter. And then there are those individuals who are exceedingly humble. As we'll see later on in our discussion, either of these extremes are not beneficial. V'yesh shehu bal ta'ava. There are those individuals who are driven by their desires. Lo tispa nafsho mihaloch betava. They're never satisfied, and their desires take over their actions. They motivate their actions. V'yesh shehu ba'alev tahor me'od. Then you have those individuals that are exceedingly pure. V'lo yitaveh afilu lidvarim me'atim, and they don't desire even the most simplest or few things that people generally desire. Shahaguf tzarich lehen. There are certain things that a person's body requires. A person needs to eat. A person needs to sleep. A person needs to establish a family. And there are some individuals who are so distant from these natural human needs that they never even take care of them, and perhaps don't take proper care of their health because they are so distant from things that people generally desire. So as we will explain, these extremes, being driven by one's desires on the one side and being so far removed from human desires on the other side, are not beneficial. And that is true of all of these character traits that we have explained. V'yesh bal nefesh rechava, there are those individuals who are greedy, shelo tisba nafsho mikol mamon ha'olam. They are never satisfied. They could never be satisfied with all of the money in the world. Kainyan shenemar, like it says in the book of Kohelet of Ecclesiastes, in chapter Bet, Perek Bet, Pasuk Tet, chapter 2, verse 9, Ohev kesef lo yispa kesef. One who loves money will never be satisfied with the money that he has. V'yesh mikatzer nafsho, there are those who limit themselves. Shedayo afilu davar ma'at shelo yaspik lo. They sustain themselves on extremely small quantities, even that which is not really sufficient for them. Velo yirdof lahasig kol tzarko, and they don't bother to seek and attain that which they are missing. V'yeshehu misagef, there are those who torment themselves. V'yeshehu sagef atzmo bara'av, there are those who torment themselves with hunger. The kovetz al yado, and then on the other side, there are those who torment themselves with hunger. The kovetz al yado, and he gathers his possessions close to himself. He's unwilling to spend in a miserly fashion, perhaps even for himself. This is different than the person who's greedy, who refuses to spend on others, but will spend on himself. In this instance, he even refuses to spend money for his own benefit. Ve'eno ochel pruta mishalo, he will not consume even a penny, for lack of a better translation, for himself. Ella betzar gadol, unless it is with great pain. V'yeshehu me'abed kol mamano bi'ado l'da'ato, and on the flip side, there are those who freely spend their money, and are not just generous with others, but of course with themselves, and have nothing left. Ve'al drachim elu, and regarding these matters, or in these different character traits, sha'ar kol hadayot kigon maholel ve'onen, you have those who are exuberant, they're happy all the time, and then you have those who are depressed. V'kilai v'ashoa, you have those who are stingy and those who are open-handed rather. They spend very freely. V'achzari v'rachaman, you have those who are cruel and those who are compassionate. V'rach levav v'amitz lev, you have those who are brave and those who are cowardly. Rach levav, soft of heart, they're afraid to do things, they're anxious, they will not take any risks. And then you have amitz lev, those who are strong of heart, those who are brave, or those who are risk takers, v'chayotze v'hen, and the like, and similar cases. So that's the first chapter of, that's the first halacha, the first law found in chapter 1 of Hilchot Deot, describing the variety of personality traits, of character traits that people have. And as I said, the Rambam in the subsequent halachot, subsequent laws, is going to explain exactly the proper balance that a person should seek to attain, as well as how all of these character traits impact our ability to perfect ourselves and to draw close to God. This raises a very interesting question, which we will explore in probably our next discussion, which is, if God created people naturally having certain tendencies or character traits, doesn't that remove our ability to choose, or certainly make our ability to choose or to decide our actions, our free will, limited? And the answer to that question is that although we are born with certain predispositions of personality and character, it is certainly within our purview and our wherewithal to make the decision of how we are going to behave. Someone who's naturally greedy can make the decision to overcome his inclination towards being greedy and can train himself to become more giving. Someone who is overly giving can train himself through proper contemplation and applying the principles that we're going to discuss to become more careful with his spending and more responsible. So certainly it is a balance, and by no means does the fact that we're born with certain character traits or personality traits prevent us from expressing our bechira chofshit, our free will, and our ability to choose between what is right and what is wrong. I'll just conclude with a brief summary of the different character traits that we discussed today. They are, number one, angry, the angry personality versus the calm personality. Number 2, the arrogant person versus the humble person. Number 3, someone who's full of desire, or a person who's gluttonous versus a person who completely lacks desire and won't even seek the things that he needs to sustain himself. Number 4, a person who's greedy, who seeks to gain more for himself. He has ambition, but only to help himself and not to help others, versus a person who is completely idle, and lacks the drive and the acquire to accomplish things even for his own personal needs. Number 5, you have the miser who spends the bare minimum with great pain, even at his own expense, versus, on the flip side, one who spends happily and spends his money without any thought or limit. Number 6, a person who is severely depressed versus a person who's happy all the time, or perhaps exceedingly happy and joyful or jolly all the time. Number 7, you have the person who is stingy, who will spend on himself but not others, versus the person who is free-handed and will give freely to others, perhaps in an extreme way, not saving anything for himself. Number 8, you have the cruel personality versus the compassionate personality. And number 9, you have the anxious person who is afraid to do anything, won't take any risks, and won't step out of the box, versus the person who's fearless and will take great risks and is not afraid. So these are this is a summary of 9 different personality traits that the Rambam described. In the later halachot, the later laws of this chapter, the Rambam is going to have a detailed discussion of how these personality traits can impact us, what we can do to overcome them, and to be the master of our personal growth and development, using these traits for our development and our growth, and not being led by our personality, but rather using our personality to lead healthy lives and have a healthy mindset. Thank you for joining us, and have a great day.